All right, let's just jump right into it. Welcome to today's explainer. Now, we're not just digging through dry data or dissecting some dense research paper today. Nope, we are actually going on a bit of a detective journey together. We're going to unpack a deeply philosophical mystery, a really brilliant riddle from our source material that basically challenges everything we think we know about value, human nature, and what we're all constantly chasing. So get your detective hats on because we're going to walk through these clues piece by piece before we get to the big reveal.
Okay, here's our very first clue. I have no heartbeat, yet I can die. Just pause and really think about that for a second. We're looking for an entity that has absolutely zero biological life. No pulse, no physical form whatsoever to keep it going. And yet, it can absolutely be killed. It can end. How on earth can something that isn't even alive be destroyed? Keep that little paradox in the back of your mind as we start stacking up the evidence. Now, this next clue really shows you the sheer, unbelievable scale of what we're dealing with. I own nothing, yet kingdoms have fallen trying to possess me. The contrast here is just wild. On one hand, this mystery subject has zero material goods. It literally owns nothing. But on the other hand, it is the ultimate historical prize. We're talking about entire empires collapsing, vast armies mobilizing, kings and queens losing their thrones entirely in this desperate and usually violent attempt to capture it. What possesses literally nothing, but is somehow worth the fall of an entire kingdom? And then we run straight into this profound economic paradox. The richer you become, the less of me you seem to have. But wait, contrast that with the poorer you become, the more you may discover me. I mean, this completely flips our traditional understanding of wealth on its head, right? Usually, the more resources you gather, the more security or assets you have. But this thing, it operates in total reverse. Piling up wealth actually pushes it away, while shedding your material possessions somehow invites it right in. It's almost as if the sheer noise of wealth just drowns it out. All right, let's talk constraints, because this subject has some strict ones. I'm going to run through these pretty fast because they completely rule out any normal form of transaction. It cannot be bought. It cannot be borrowed. Cannot be stolen. And get this, it cannot even be given away. No way. You can't use money. You can't use force. You can't even rely on your best friend's generosity to get it. It is 100% non-transferable.
Okay, let's actually slow down for a second here, because this next clue completely changes the rhythm of our investigation. You can chase me for a lifetime, only to realize I was walking beside you from the beginning. Wow! I mean, this perfectly captures the ultimate illusion of the pursuit. We spend our finite time, our literal, actual lifespans, just frantically sprinting toward this horizon, convinced the prize is somewhere way out there in the distance. But the cruel irony? That frantic chasing actually blinds us to the fact that it was right there, walking right beside us the whole time.
Which brings us straight into the realm of the human mind. The wise stop searching for me. The foolish believe they already have me. There is some heavy philosophical weight to that line, isn't it? It forces us to look at the massive difference between wisdom and sheer arrogance. The wise realize that the desperate search itself is the actual obstacle. So what do? They just stop. But the foolish, well, they're arrogant enough to intellectually claim victory, completely missing the true nature of what they claim to possess.
All right, we are right at the edge of the big reveal now. The final clue tells us, when you finally understand what I am, you'll stop asking the question that created me. Talk about tension. Basically, true comprehension of this riddle completely destroys the need for the riddle itself. Our seeking, restless minds create the question, but the answer? The answer silences the mind entirely.
So, take a deep breath, look at everything we've gathered here. It can die, but it isn't alive. It destroys literal kingdoms. It runs away from wealth. It can't be bought, can't be stolen. It is ruined by chasing it, and it silences the mind. Go ahead and lock in your final deductions. What am I?
The answer is peace. Yeah, what an incredible aha moment, right? All of those seemingly impossible contradictory constraints we just talked about, they instantly snap together and make perfect, crystal clear sense when you realize we're talking about peace. The whole paradox resolves beautifully once you actually grasp just how elusive this profound state of being really is.
Let's break this down a bit and map it all out, because it is so incredibly clever. Think back to that heartbeat clue. Peace, obviously, isn't a biological organism, but it absolutely can die. It gets killed every single day by conflict and war. And the falling kingdoms? Well, human history is basically defined by empires waging these endless, destructive wars in this completely misguided attempt to force their way to peace. Then there's that crazy economic paradox. It perfectly highlights how our obsession with stuff, the endless rat race for wealth, often completely wrecks our inner peace, whereas leaning into simplicity frequently fosters it.
And tying up those final clues, the strict constraints remind us that peace is this uncapturable internal state of being. You literally can't buy it at a store or steal it from your neighbor. It doesn't work like that. The illusion of the chase perfectly captures that inner peace only ever exists right now, in the present moment, not in some distant, chased-after future goal. And finally, distinguishing the wise from the foolish shows us that experiencing true peace requires letting go. It's a state of being. It's not some intellectual trophy for the foolish to brag about capturing.
Which brings us to the riddle's own brilliant meta-question. If peace is found when we finally stop desperately searching for it, when we stop trying to force it, and when we just let go of the very anxieties that create our internal unrest to begin with, then the only thing left to ask you as we wrap up this explainer is this. Now that you know the answer, will you stop asking the question that created it? Thanks so much for going on this little detective journey with me today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next one.